Riley Messer from Paynesville. You're up on mat number 1. Mat number 2, Jacob Paynesville from Sock Center, Melrose versus Danny Walters from Grand Rapids from 145. You're on mat number 2. Mat number 3, we have Taylor Admas from Barnesville versus Avery Kuba from Sartell. You're on mat 3. On deck, mat number 1, Carter Matthews from East Valley Watkins at 170 pounds versus Alex Lawrence from Sartell. You are on deck, mat number 1, 170 pounds.
Okay, we are live here from the Crow's Nest. Welcome everybody to the 2019 Paynesville Invitational, where this first match we're going to be having here is Riley Messer will be wrestling because he's got, excuse me, a 10-man bracket. So he'll be wrestling here in the first round against Erickson from Spectrum. We've got 9 schools here, plus Paynesville will be 10. We've got Belgrade, Grand Rapids, Malacca, Barnesville, Eden Valley, Holdingford, Sartell, Sauk Center, Melrose, and Spectrum. Spectrum being a school from Elk River area. And I have Shelby Ruhoff up here today helping me out in the Crow's Nest, keeping track of matches and numbers and the technical portion of it. So right now we have Riley Messer wrestling Erickson from Spectrum. So Riley, a junior from Paynesville, wrestling at 145. Riley been wrestling really well this year. Riley heavy on the head right now. Getting that front headlock, working his way down to the mat. Trying to get pressure on him there, he just drives into him. Which should have been a head chancery from the top, but he just pressures him over. And now keeping his legs in. Now if he can pin him, if he's still have 1 point of contact inside the ring. Now he loses the head there a little bit, and Erickson able to roll through and for the moment stay away from the pin. Riley now scoring 5 points on that takedown and 3 near fall. So Riley breaking him down, going for the wrist. Trying to bar that arm up, keeping good wrist control, pressure on the body. Drives a half Nelson in there if he can get off to the side and break him flat. There he pulls him across his body, but Erickson's able to peel a hand off his head. Riley doing a good job of keeping pressure on him. Now he throws the leg in on the left side there. Try to drive him forward and turn those wrists. Now trying to bar up the arm on the right side. Gets that behind his back. He's got a chicken wing. Able to keep that and go for the half. He gets off to the side. You see the ref count in there. He's got 3 near fall for sure. Got 3 seconds left in the first period. Riley will be up here 8-0. So it'll be Messer's choice. He defers. And Spectrum chooses both up. So Riley going in for a nice single leg there. Able to keep the arm also. Nice job on the takedown by Riley. Hold him across his body. with his arm barred up. That's the same thing he just had in the end of the last period, but just now from the other side, trying to score some near fall here. Get that arm straightened out. Now he works his way to chest on chest. Now if he can elevate that head and keep the arms straightened out. No, he lost the head there. Erickson trying to roll through. Now Riley able to switch sides. Scooping the head from the other side now. Just trying to, there he's able to scoop that head and straighten out the arm. He's a little bit too high now. Erickson's got his leg tied up in there. There he's got the pin. So the way the individual tournaments work here, Riley scored a pin there. So in this individual tournament, the teams keep score by the individual matches also. So Riley there will score 2 points for the team. The tech fall would be 1.5 points. Major would be 1 point. And then they've got going into the next rounds, then you get 2 points for moving into the championship, and you get a point for going into a wrestleback match. And then once you're in the finals, first place is 16 points, second place is 12, 3 is 9, fourth is 7 points, fifth is 5, 6 is 3. So that's how they keep score of the team points as we move through the individual tournament. Now on mat 2, we'll have Nathan Miller wrestling. He'll be coming up here shortly.
In the hole on mat number 2 at 113 pounds, Andy Heckman from Stark Hill and Edwin Markey from Spectrum. You guys are in the hole on mat number 2.
So, all right, Nathan Miller been wrestling well this year also.
Mat number 1 at 113 pounds.
Gotta find him on my sheet here.
Ryan Jensen from BD. You are in the hole on mat number 1.
Why can't I find who he's wrestling? Oh, here he is. He's wrestling Campson from Belgrade. So right here in the first period, Nathan Miller not able to escape the cradle from Campson. So Nathan Miller will be wrestling in the wrestleback portion of this now. So we might have to just take a pause in between the Paynesville matches here. So now I think they'll be starting with 106 pounds now. Those are we're wrestling the matches right now that have more than 8 guys in their bracket. So they'll be moving into the 106-pound guys coming up here. That's the match you see now down on mat number 2. 106 pounds would be Caden Sanko from Paynesville. He's a 7th grader. He'll be wrestling the number 1 seed, Walker Bentz from Belgrade. He's going to have his hands full there. Walker Bentz, 9th grader. 22-2 is his record. And Walker Bentz is also rated number 6 in Class A. Belgrade is a team rated number 9 in the state. They've got quite a few rated wrestlers in the guillotine. 4 as I count. So we'll take a little bit of a break and we'll wait for, no, we got Caden coming up right down on mat number 3 here in front of us. So Caden been doing a good job as a 7th grader. He's got to gain some weight to be at this weight class. He's a fast wrestler. he'll have his hands full here with this match. So Caden going for tie up, and Bent's able to step back from that and get a quick takedown on Caden. Now he's working the crossface on Caden. Caden able to get his arm free, and now he's working the crossface cradle on him. Caden trying not to curl up. Bent's able to curl him up and scoop that leg in behind there, bring him back, and Caden's not able to stay out of it. Now he just needs to peel them hands free, and not able to do it. Caden will be going into the wrestle back matches. That was a tough one for Caden. Walker is rated number 6 in the state. So then our next match at 113 pounds is going to be Jose Anaya. Jose also is a 7th grader. Been filling in very well on the varsity. I guess I would put Jose at one of the most improved wrestlers we have on the team right now. As we wait for Jose to come up, we'll take a little bit of a break here. Okay, up next we have here is Jose Anaya, 7th grader from Paynesville, wrestling at 113 pounds. Jose wrestling Zach Wilkie from Grand Rapids area. Wilkie, a 9th grader. Jose, a 7th grader. So Jose giving up a takedown here in the first period. Just trying to defend from the crossface. Wilkie able to get the crossface and started bringing it to get tied up, and Jose able to keep him from tying it up here so far. So Jose able to defend it off for the moment, trying to sit out and get away from it. Wilkie able to keep the pressure on, now loses it and then back into it again. So Jose just trying to keep his base here in the first period. His clock is on the other side there, which I can't hardly see. He's got 45 seconds left the way it looks here in the first period. So Wilkie able to get the cradle locked up, and Jose now trying to keep his shoulders off the mat. So Wilkie doesn't have the arm in there, so he didn't have it too tight. So now Jose trailing 5-0 here in the first period with 25 seconds left. So again, Jose is a 7th grader here, filling in on the varsity. He's been doing a rather nice job, I would say. Jose 3-6 on the varsity team. Jose trying to stand up now for a escape at the end of the period, but to no avail. So Jose's choice here in the second, he defers. Jose trailing 5-0, wrestling against Zach Wilkie from Grand Rapids. So Wilkie chooses down right off the whistle to a sit out. Jose able to tie his arm up, break him down. Jose able to bring him back down to the mat. Jose likes to use the legs too as he wrestles. He just hasn't gotten to that control point here yet. Got that ankle locked up, and Wilkie able to reach around for a leg. Jose trying to keep his hips down, and Wilkie able to work into a single. Jose with the whizzer trying to fend it off, pushing the head down. Wilkie switching directions and able to get him down to the mat, and Jose gives up a reversal. So now Jose trailing 7-0, and Wilkie going right back to that crossface cradle again. Breaks him down flat, and Jose just trying to get that arm up over his head so he can sit back out of it. Jose trying to sit out, and Wilkie able to keep enough pressure on him to keep him from sitting out. Trying to go into a stand-up. Now Jose able to sit out, trying for a switch, and Wilkie follows. Now hopefully he can peel the hands here. Nope. Down to the mat again, and Jose with a switch, able to keep the leg. If he can get around the corner here. Not quite able to get the corner, and Wilkie still in control. No points. Wilkie gets him back down to the mat. He almost had the switch and wasn't able to finish it. So Wilkie just keeping wrist controls, got him flattened out. We'll have Craig Schmitz coming up here right after Jose's match. Craig wrestling Tim Stevens from Sartell. So we'll keep you updated on Craig's match also here. Craig got seated number 4 in his bracket. Again, he's wrestling a senior from Sartell, Tim Stevens. So So Jose still now trying to work his way off the bottom. He chose down here in the third period. He's trailing 7-0. Jose able to get into a single leg, trying to work into a double leg now, and just Wilkie's too tough and fought him off of it. So Wilkie is keeping good pressure on him, keeping him from standing up and sitting out. There he's able to sit out, not able to spin fast enough. Now he's able to spin, facing him, and if he can keep his hips down now and get a cross face in there, he might be able to get an escape here. So there he's got the quarter Nelson in there now, and he switches back to double under. Wilkie just hanging on to a leg. Jose trying to make the corner. Wilkie reaches out for the leg again. So now Wilkie back into the single leg, gets him back down to the mat. No points. So Jose trailing here 7-0. 40 seconds left to go in the match. He's just got too much pressure on Jose. He can't work his way out of there. Jose trying to peel the hands loose, just able to get an escape, and Wilkie just keeps switching to a different move. So Wilkie way out front. Jose reaches in for a leg. So right now he was trying to tie up the cradle, and Jose able to slip out of there, and not yet. No point. Oh, he gets an escape. So Jose's going to lose that one 7-0, and he'll move into the wrestlebacks. Now we'll go and move on to Craig here right down in front of us. So Craig is winning this match 4-0 now here in the first period. Right at the end of the first period. So we're going in the second period now here. So Craig's choice after Sartell defers. Craig's going to choose down. Craig wrestling a senior here. So 2-0 they have it on track. We're watching track wrestling here to try to keep up with the matches, and so Craig winning 2-0 here at the beginning of the second period. He chooses down. Now Craig trying to work his way off the bottom, peeling the hands loose, trying to work his way into a stand-up. Stevens able to keep enough pressure on him and bring him back down to the mat, trying to work Craig's wrist in there. Craig able to almost stand up, just trying to peel those hands loose so he can get into a stand-up. So Stevens trying to bar up his arm. So he's got the arm in there.
And hold on mat number 1 at 132 pounds, Tyler Jensen from BNC.
Getting a little bit, Stevens getting a little bit too high, and Craig just needed to step over his leg, and he would have had a reversal there. Now Stevens sticks the legs, and they go off the mat. So back down to the center. Craig leading the match 2-0 here in the second period. 45 seconds left. Now they have them listed at 5-0. We can't see a scoreboard from where we're sitting here, so we have to go off of track wrestling for what the score is on this match. Now they have it at 5-0. So Craig able to step over now if he can get his arm loose. There we go. Craig gets a reversal, so that'll be another 2. Now Craig trying to work some pinning combinations here. Rolls that wrist underneath there. Let's see if he can do something with it. Step off to the side and get a half in there. So we got short time in the second period here. Craig just leading the match now 7-0 over Tim Stevens from Sartell. Tim Stevens listed at 11-6 on the season. Craig 11-7 as a 10th grader. So Stevens choosing both up here in the third period. She goes in for a shot. Craig able to sprawl back. If he can get his legs back. Craig's just got an ankle there, trying to keep his heavy hips. Call a stalemate. We'll go back to the center. And I think we're going to have blood time here. So again, the schools we have here tonight: Belgrade, Grand Rapids, Malacca, Barnesville, Eden Valley Watkins, Holdingford, Sartell, Sauk Center Melrose, and Spectrum. The next match we'll be going to here will be Aaron Magus, who will be wrestling a Sartell wrestler. Aaron Magus will be wrestling Ashton Lipinski, a 9th grader from Sartell. So back here, Craig's got going again after some blood time, and Craig able to go in for the fireman's. Not able to finish it with him holding onto his ankle, but now he turns the other direction and he's got him to his back. If he can pop his head out of there. There he gets the 2. Nice job by Craig to finish the fireman's. So now Craig just trying to roll the wrist back so he can bar up that arm. Stevens able to keep it underneath him. Now Craig reaches in for the chicken wing. Now if Craig can reach up for that right wrist, pulls him across his body. Now he's scoring near fall. So Craig should be, he's up now 9-0 with the near fall. He should be at 12-0. So now he bars the arm from the other side. Switches over to a half. Slowly brings him over, and that should be it. Nice job by Craig. So Craig will score a pin there, which will give him 2 team points. We'll go through that again in a second. So now we'll switch over to Aaron Magus, who's wrestling over on mat number 2.
In the hole, mat 3, Layden from Grand Rapids, Magus from Paynesville, 132 pounds in the hole, mat 3, Layden, Grand Rapids, Magus, Paynesville.
So Aaron, as it shows, we are it's down 2-0 here in the first period with 15 seconds to go. Aaron wrestling Ashton Lipinski, freshman from Sartell. So second period here, Aaron defers. Lipinski chooses down. We'll start the second period here with Aaron trailing 2-0. Lipinski able to go to a stand-up. Aaron trying to hang on and can't, so that'll be an escape for Lipinski. Aaron leading now, or trailing 3-0. Lipinski in for a shot. Aaron able to turn into him, but Lipinski just keeps pressuring in and he'll get the takedown. So now he lets him go. Aaron will get the escape. It's 5-0, or 5-1, sorry. A minute 20 to go in the second period here. Aaron trying to just keep his hands in
There are brackets available
Ashton's face. Now they go into a tie-up. Ashton gets a underneath there, able to bring him down to the mat. Aaron not able to fight him off, and now he's in a little bit of trouble. So Aaron Magus getting pinned there by Ashton Lipinski of Sartell. So we're going to see who we've got coming up next here for Paynesville. We should have Brett Magus coming up here in the near future.
In the hole on mat number 2 at 138 pounds, Nate Burdick from Grand Rapids and Nathan Redder from Barnesville, who are in the hole on mat number 2 at 138 pounds.
So Brett Magus is in the hole on mat number 3. So we've got a little bit of a wait here before we've got some more Paynesville wrestling coming up. We'll take a little bit of a break. All right, so now we have Brett Magas here. Brett Magas wrestling Caden Lyman from Grand Rapids area. Caden, a 9th grader. Brett, a junior here at Paynesville, wrestling at 132 pounds. So Caden going in for a double leg, able to secure it and bring Brett down to the mat. Now working them wrists underneath him, working for wrist control. Brett's going to have to keep his wrists out in front of him. Caden going with the ankle ride and breaking him down to the mat. Brett listed at 2-7 here on varsity this year. Caden Lyman is the number 3 seed in the bracket. He's listed at 18-8. So Brett just trying to work the edge of the mat here. Kind of a dangerous situation, and he calls a stalemate, and we'll go back to the center. So again, Lyman, a 9th grader from Grand Rapids. Right off the whistle, Brett shoots forward, and Lyman able to tie up his arm and keep him from getting an escape. Pulls him over his body. That was a pretty quick pin, and Brett Magas will be in the wrestlebacks. Caden Lyman going into the semifinals. Next wrestler we're going to have coming up here, I think, is Weston Roberg. He'll be wrestling over on mat number 1. No, mat 2. So Weston, assuming I can.
In the hole on mat number 3 at 160 pounds, Brendan Moreland from Grand Rapids.
So Weston Roberg will be wrestling James Welly from Holdingford. After this match is done over on mat number 2. So again, the point system here, each match is worth points to the team in an individual tournament here. So if the wrestler scores a pin, they're going to be getting 2 team points. They get a tech fall, which is winning by 15 or more. They get a 1.5. Major decision, winning by 8 or more, you'll get a point for the team. And once we get into if you're advancing into the championship round, you're going to get 2 points. And 1 point for moving into the wrestlebacks. And then once we're in the finals, then they give points for each place. So first place is 16, second place is 12, third is 9, fourth is 7, fifth is 5, 6th is 3. So that's how they'll score the team portion of the individual tournament. So again, Belgrade coming in as probably one of the I would say the top team in the tournament, rated number 9 in the state, with 5 wrestlers that are ranked in the state, the top 10. I don't know if it lists on there what the team points are. You'd have to go to results. Yeah, try team score. So it does give the team score. So right now, Belgrade leading the team portion of this event, 58. Sartell coming in second with 42. Grand Rapids in third with 32. Paynesville in fourth place with 17. Eden Valley in fifth with 14 points. Barnesville 12. Sauk Center with 7. Holding Ford with 5. Malacca 3. And Spectrum does not have any points yet. So Belgrade is going to be the team to beat today in this, the team portion of this. So again, Shelby, my statistician up here today, helping me keep track of all the matches going on and the points and scores and time. And so now you have to go back to the dashboard. So again, this is on track wrestling also, so that's how we're able to keep up with mat number 3 here, because we can't see the scoreboard. So Weston Roberg will be one of our next wrestlers we're going to have coming up here. Riley Messer also another one. And I think Mason Listman will be soon to come out. So Riley Messer will be coming up next on mat number 1. Weston Roberg will be on mat number 2. So I'll be far 2 mats away from us. And maybe if we keep it out on a wide angle here, we can catch both matches and try to keep up with both of them. Now I'll have Weston Roberg coming out on mat number 2. Weston, a junior from Paynesville, wrestling against James Welly from Holdingford, also a junior, listed at 7-2. Weston Roberg listed at 11-7. Weston looks like he's got a little bit of a height advantage on Welly. Weston does a good job of using that length to make matches go his way. Paynesville will be green again in this match, Holding Ford red. So right off the whistle, Welly getting a quick takedown on Weston. They surprise Weston a little bit. Welly trying to work the wrists underneath them.
In the hole on mat number 2 at 170 pounds, Ian Hansen from Malacca, Alex Moritz from Sartell.
So Welly keeping good pressure on Weston, and now he gets the half in there. Weston able to wing him down and try for a switch. Going for the throw, Weston able to toss him. He gets the reversal, now scoring back points, and Welly's not able to get his arm free out of there. Weston has got 2 back points the way it looked. He's still got his arm barred up. That was a nice switch there by Weston. Master in a little bit of trouble on the other mat. Riley is, who is Riley wrestling over there?
Garrett Hall.
Garrett Hall from Malacca. So Weston still in control of his match, and so now Riley is trying to find. So Garrett Hall. So he's wrestling the number 4 seeded guy in his bracket. Riley is. Garrett Hall is a junior from Malacca Faith Christian. Record of 10-5. So Riley down 5-0 in his match, the first period. Weston leading his match 5-2. So Weston right now trying to keep control, keeping Welly down on the mat for the moment. Welly trying to peel the hands loose, staying inside the circle. Getting free for a second, and Weston doing a nice job of jumping back in for the legs and taking them back down. Saved by the bell there. I think Weston would have been in a little bit of trouble if that would have been more time. So Riley over on mat number 1, trailing 8-0 in the first period with 25 seconds to go. So Riley having a bit of a time getting off the bottom over there. Riley wrestling at 145 pounds. Back to Weston there. He trying to get off the bottom again. He did a nice job last time of working his body around and getting position and able to throw Welly to his back. So Riley's match there is second period. He chooses both up. He's got some ground to make up. He's trailing the match 8-0. And Weston just trying to work his way off the bottom again, winging down that half. Peeling the hands off his head. Just trying to keep his base underneath him and see if he can't work into a stand-up. Keeps tripoded up and then goes out for a sit-out. Welly able to follow. Welly trying to cradle him up, and Weston getting caught there a little bit. Gives up 2 back points, and then Welly goes for the crossface, trying for the butcher now. Weston working his way into a stand-up, and Welly going for the near side cradle again. Working on the edge of the mat there. Off the mat they go and back to the center. 20 seconds to go left in the second period. Weston leading the match 5-4. Riley trailing his match 10-0 in the second period with 45 seconds to go. So right off the whistle, Welly able to tie up Weston's wrists, and he's keeping control and pressure on him that Weston's not able to sit out or stand up. So we'll end the second period with Weston leading 5-4. It'll be Welly's choice, and he chooses down. So we'll see what Weston can do here now in a pinning combination in the third period. So right off the whistle, Welly goes a stand up, and Weston's able to bring him back down and put the legs in. That's where Weston can use his length, is putting the legs in there and stretching them out. Keeps the leg in on the left-hand side and working a half from the opposite side. He's able to keep enough pressure on him so Welly can't stand up. Slowly bringing that arm up over his head. Now the refs see count in there, a 5 count. It's going to be 3 near fall. So that'll put Weston up 8-4 with a minute 20 to go in the third. Riley with some ground to make up on his match over there. He's trailing 10-0 at the beginning of the third. So Riley getting caught in the Granby there. Can't get his wrists free. Now he's giving up near fall. And I think that'll be the end of the match. Riley will give up a tech fall on his match. Again, Riley was wrestling Garrett Hall from Malacca Faith Christian. He was seated number 4 in his bracket. Riley was able to win his first match, and then he gives up a loss of a tech fall in the second match. So 21 seconds to go in the third period here with Weston leading 8-4. Weston able to score some near fall here in the third period and going right to the legs, and Welly reaching for the head. Weston getting a little bit too high, but he's got enough length to stretch him out, get him flattened out again, and then work into his pinning combinations. So that'll be the end of Weston's match. Weston will come away with a decision, scoring a point for the point for the team. So now I think the next wrestler we're going to be looking for is Mason Listman. We'll have to look on Track Wrestling here who's coming up.
In the hole on mat number 3 at 182 pounds. Spencer Eisenbrown from Paynesville. Paynesville.
Go to watch.
You are in the
Watch
hole
later.
on mat number 3 at 182 pounds.
No.
In the hole on mat number 2 at 182
They're not even
pounds.
continue.
Maxwell Seaford from Holding Floor. Kevin Hansen from Malacca. You are in the hole on mat number 2.
So Spencer Eisenbrown will be, I think, on deck on mat number 3. We just had a match goal. So Mason Listman coming up on, is that mat 1? So mat number 1, they just ended that one, with Belgrade scoring another 2 points for their team with a pin. We'll have Mason Listman coming up. I gotta see where.
In the hole on mat number 3 at 195 pounds. Matthew Lidstrom from Sartell. Sam Herring from Holding Floor. 195. You are in the
So
hole.
Mason will be wrestling Austin Mullet from Malacca Faith Christian, listed at 6 and 6. He's a junior. Mason, listed at 2 and 6, is a freshman.
You are in the hole, mat number 1.
So it looks like Mason giving up a little bit of height to Austin. So Mason trying to work something at an underhook there. Gets a good underhook, trying to get it in deeper. Now he works a front headlock down on the mat. Austin trying to reach around for a leg. He's able to do the Kelly. That's what they call a Kelly. And Mason giving up 2 for a takedown. Now Mason just trying to keep his self out of a half Nelson there. Austin able to control it, and they work back towards the middle. Austin's trying to work that half in there, and Mason's strong wrestler able to wing him down, and now Mason stands up for a escape. Mason now trailing 2-1. Trying to work that front headlock.
In the hole on mat number 2 at 220 pounds. Ethan May, Valley Watkins, and
So again, Mason, freshman from Paynesville, wrestling a junior from Malacca Faith Christian. Now Austin going in for a fireman's, and right down to Mason's back. He's got to get his arm out of there. Austin able to work up into the half, getting perpendicular, and Mason's going to give up 5 points here in the end of the first period if he can staff his back. Nope. Austin doing a good job of keeping the fireman's tight all the way to his back, and Mason wasn't able to fight him off. So Mason will be in the wrestlebacks. who do we have coming up now for Paynesville wrestlers? Spencer Eisenbrown will be our next wrestler coming up on mat 3. He is on deck.
In the hole on mat number 1 at 220 pounds, Daniel Sabala from BNC-TV.
So Spencer has been wrestling very well this year on varsity. He's going to be wrestling a senior coming up here from Sartell St. Stephen. Senior Cody, how would you say that? Nitsky. Cody Nitsky from Sartell is listed at 5-4. He's a senior. Spencer listed at 5-8. He's had some pretty key matches. He's a tough wrestler. He's filling in nicely as an 8th grader on the varsity. We got 45 seconds to go in the second period on mat number 3, and then we'll be on to Spencer's match here shortly. So, Spencer Eisenbrown coming up next here on mat number 3. Got a bird's eye view of mat number 3 right down in front of us here. You get a good view, we just can't see the scoreboard. So again, Spencer wrestling Cody Nitsky from Sartell, 5-4. He's a senior. Spencer giving up a quick takedown there. It's always tough when you have an 8th grader wrestling a senior. Now Cody able to tie up or lock in the near side or the crossface cradle. They go off of the mat, go back to the center. So that was what the ref just showed caution there, that Spencer wasn't sitting right. Now Spencer going for a switch, and Cody able to tie up his arm. Now Spencer able to sit back the other way, but not Cody able to follow and get his balance and stay in control. Cody trying for that half, and Spencer able to wing him down. Now he's trying for the crossface. Spencer able to block for the moment. Spencer needs to keep him from tying up those wrists. Not able to keep it. Spencer not able to fight off that crossface cradle, and Cody Nitsky will move on to the semifinals.
In the hole on mat number 1 at 285, Brandon Schlangen from Paynesville, Bryce Kerhockey from BBE. Mat number 1, you're in the hole. Mat number 2 at 285, in the hole, Brody Ash from Malacca versus Brandon Knoll from Holdingford.
So our next wrestler we have coming up will be Brandon.
In the hole on mat number 3 at 285,
and on mat number 1. Brandon Schlungen on mat number 1, and he is in the hole on mat number 1. So Brandon, a junior, he'll be wrestling. Oh boy, I don't know how to say that last name. Bryce, we'll just say Bryce from Belgrade. Freshman, listed at 2 and 14. Brandon at 12 and 7. Brandon's had quite a few matches this year that have come down to heavyweight and depended on him, and he's done a good job of being there at the heavyweight spot for Paynesville. So, whoops, we'll for the moment back up so we can see all mats here. So coming into tonight, Belgrade with 5 state-rated wrestlers, Holding Ford with 1, and Barnesville with 1, and Paynesville with 1. Could we bring up the team score again? Okay, so Belgrade's still leading the team portion of it. 65, Grand Rapids 52, Sartell 49, Paynesville 22, Barnesville 19, Eden Valley 19, Sauk Center 17, Holding Ford 12, Malacca 9.5, and Spectrum 3. Again, for the team portion of it, each win is getting points as an individual for your team, and then for place points too. So as they get to the finals here, if they're able to win the higher they place, the more points they get. Let's put it that way. We're just waiting for a couple matches to be done here on mat number 2, and then we'll have Brandon Schlungen up. Oh, we have Brandon Schlungen. They must have moved him over to mat number 1. So Brandon Schlungen wrestling Bryce from Belgrade, a freshman, Brandon a junior. Bryce might have some weight on Brandon, but it looks like Brandon's got the height advantage. Brandon going for the head and arm, able to bring him down to the mat, lift his head, and Brandon scores a quick pin for Paynesville. Brandon's seated number 3 in his bracket. I think they're going to keep moving right into the next round with the 106 pounders, and then we'll have to watch to see who's coming up. So Caden will be coming up on mat number 3. That's not the match going on right now, is it?
In a hole on mat number 1 at 113 pounds, Andy Heckman from Sartell, Ryan Jensen from BNC.
Sure it is.
Number 1 at 113 pounds.
Oh no, I'm wrong. You're right. So we have a little bit of a wait here before we see Caden wrestle. And Caden will be wrestling Gavin Gold from Spectrum. Gavin is a 9th grader from Spectrum, which Spectrum is school being in the Elk River area. Gavin listed at 10 and 8. Caden as a light 7th grader coming in, 10 and 9. Caden now 4 and 11 on his record as a light 7th grader coming into 106. A little bit of changing of the guards here with this tournament. This back when I wrestled, Belgrade was usually one of the teams on the bottom of the board on this tournament. Now they've improved their program using one of Paynesville's alumni as their coach and improving their program, and now they're going to be at the top of this board on this tournament. So must have one more match to wait for here on mat 3, huh? We'll have one more heavyweight match in front of Caden here on mat number 3, and then we will have Caden wrestling Gavin Gold from Spectrum. So a quick heavyweight match here, and now we'll be watching Caden Senko from Paynesville wrestling Gavin Gold from Spectrum.
In the hole on mat number 3 at 113 pounds, Edwin Martin from Spectrum, Cole Witter from Holding Court. You're in the hole on mat number 3 at 113 pounds.
All right, we'll see how Caden is a pretty exceptional wrestler on his feet when he's wrestling guys that are his size and weight. A little bit of back and forth there. Both guys able to keep their composure, and Caden going in for a shot and Gavin able to fend him off. Now Gavin going for a shot. Caden trying to keep his legs back. Just trying to finish it, and Caden able to keep him off for a second, and then Gavin able to roll him back down to the mat and scoring his takedown. So he lets him go. Score now 2-1. Caden working his way out of a tie-up. So now the the periods here in the wrestlebacks, they are going with 1 minute first period, so the first periods will be going a little bit faster. So Caden in top position here, right off the whistle. Gavin going for a switch, Caden able to follow. Caden putting the legs in, and Gavin going for a roll. Caden still following. Caden keeping the legs in there, trying to stretch them out and work into a half. Gavin trying to scoop back and get those legs out of there. Main goal here for Caden is to stay behind the armpits and not let them get your head. Gavin trying to circle around, trying to shake Caden down. Caden for the moment able to keep on, and good situation there for Caden to have a stalemate called. So we start now with minute 16 left in the second period. Gavin going for a switch. Caden not able to follow this time, but Caden able to hold on to that wrist and keep him in. Now Caden working to a half and back behind. Caden doing a good job here for being undersized and being able to ride out Gavin here in the second period. So again, Gavin going for a switch. Caden able to block him. Caden trying to get that left hand up there for a half, and then has to come back to Caden diving into a cradle. Gavin able to block. Short time, and Caden able to fend him off. Able to bring him forward and flatten him out, and we'll end the second period here now with Caden trailing 2-1. Caden's gonna have to choose down here to score some points. So Caden off the whistle. Gavin grabbing an ankle to keep him down. Caden going for what they call the tiger roll, and Gavin able to follow. That'd be a good one for Caden to try again here if he gets the opportunity. Caden able to try and sit. Good job of flattening out. Gavin had a good opportunity there for a near side cradle, and just a little bit too slow on it. Now he goes for a crossbody ride to keep Caden down. Caden trying to slowly work into a stand-up here, going for a head and arm. Oh. And Gavin working his weight into him and bringing him back down to the mat. So now with minute 12 here left, Caden's going to have to score at least an escape to tie the match up. He's trailing 2-1. Right off the whistle, Caden trying to work his way to a stand-up. Gavin switching sides. Caden trying to face him. If he can get an ankle here, get his hips back. Gavin trying to draw that leg back in and switch to a double. Got a minute to go here. Gavin just hanging on to a leg, trying to keep Caden from scoring any points. Caden will be quick off the whistle here again. Right to a stand-up if you can. Caden trying to face him. If he can stand up, he'll score. There he scores an escape, and we're tied up in the third period here with less than a minute to go. Oh, and Caden just stepped in too far, and Gavin able to use his weight and throw Caden down to his back. So now he's got 5 points to try and recover from that. Caden just stepped too far into it, and Gavin a little bit too big for him. And that's time. So Caden picking up his second loss of the night. He's still been doing a good job of filling in at that 106-pound weight for having to give up as much weight as he does. So who do we have? Paynesville, Craig Schmitz. So Craig will be in the hole on mat number 2.
145 pounds.
So who's Craig wrestling? Who does it show? Oh, Craig will be wrestling Blaine Fisher. So Blaine Fisher, one of Belgrade's rated wrestlers, is a freshman. He's rated number 5 in the state, so Craig is going to have his hands full with him. So Blaine is 16-7 listed here. Well, I'd say 17-7 now. He's a freshman from Belgrade. Craig listed at 11-7 as a 12-7 as a junior. Sorry, sophomore. Wrestling at 120 pounds. How do you switch back or to the? There you go. They have flip-flopped on our screen. That's why it's hard to tell or keep track of who's who. So we'll have one match to go here before we watch Craig Schmitz. So coming up here, we're going to have Craig Schmitz. He's going to be wrestling Blaine Fisher, and then we have Jose Anaya also coming up. And he'll be wrestling Gibson Gray. I'm going to say Gibson Cray from Malacca Faith Christian. So Gibson listed at 4 and 7, and Jose listed at 3 and 7. So Gibson is a sophomore, and Jose is a 7th grader. And then Craig wrestling Blaine. Blaine, like I said, listed in rated in state. So we just have the last few seconds there on mat number 2. And that's where we'll have Craig Schmitz. So we'll have both of the matches going on at the same time here. I'll keep it out at a wide angle like this so we can see them both. So Craig wrestling to our left out on mat number 2, and Jose is on deck. I'm sorry. So I can go over to Craig's match here.
132 pounds.
So Craig just trying to work something out of a tie up there.
26, Paynesville 26,
Blaine got it there. Craig now with a nice fireman's, but off the mat. So Blaine obviously got a little bit of height on Craig, and you can see he's cutting a bit of weight to get down to that 120-pound weight class. Now Blaine gets in on deep single and switches over to a double and gets the takedown on Craig and works quickly into the cross-face cradle. He has it locked up. Craig just got that right leg out there to defend it and trying to peel the hands loose underneath. He gets the hands peeled loose. Blaine still trying to push it in there. Now Blaine switching to that, I don't know, they call that I would call it a crossbody Turk. He's got the leg tied in there and reaching to that far shoulder. Just trying to get Craig to turn over, and Craig able to fight it off, and now we go back to the center. Craig trailing 2-0 with 38 seconds to go in the first period here. So right off the whistle, Blaine getting wrist control, switching over to the crossface. Craig not able to keep his base underneath him. Blaine's just keeping too much pressure on him, keeping him flattened out. And now Blaine again working to get the legs in there, work on that. He's working the, trying to work the cradle in there. Craig able to keep the hands peeled loose and fight it off. We'll go into the second period here with Craig trailing 2-0. So Blaine chooses down. See what Craig here can do from the top position. Right off the whistle, Blaine doing a little bit of a short sit, and then he goes into a stand-up and gets one and escape. So Blaine is a pretty tall kid for Craig here. He's got a lot of leverage and height on Craig. See what Craig can do here if we can get into that fireman's again out of the tie-up. Blaine able to defend with that wrist. You see Craig chopping to have him let go of that wrist. Craig not comfortable at the tie-up, so Blaine shoots in to secure a single leg. Now with all that height, he's able to bring Craig right down to the mat. So now Craig trailing 5-0 here in the second period. And Blaine right away going into the crossface again. Craig not able to fight it off this time and peel it loose before Blaine's able to turn him over and score some, looks like 3 near fall here he's going to get. So now Craig trailing 8-0. 40 seconds to go in the second period. Again, he goes right back to that crossface, try to get that cradle. And Craig not able to peel it loose. And again, to his back, Blaine scoring near fall. Some big near fall points here in the second period for Blaine. Craig not having anything to answer with so far here in the second. So 12 seconds to go now in the second period. Craig trailing 11-0.
In the hole on mat number 3 at 152 pounds.
Now I'll back up the frame here a little bit. We have Jose Anaya wrestling down on mat number 3.
Mat number 3 at 153 pounds.
So Craig again trailing. Going into the third period over here. Craig will be top left of the screen. So Blaine again getting in on a good single on Craig, and he's got so much length and leverage that Craig's not able to fight it off, and he gives up another 2. Right back into that cradle, and that will nope, he's not scoring any near fall yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that ball on mat number 1, Cannon Swanson just attained his 150th win. Congratulations, Cannon.
So Gannon Swanson, they just got announced their 150th win as Craig loses a tech fall over on his mat. Cannon Swanson, his parents being Paynesville alumni, and he just scored his 150th win. He's one of Belgrade's state-rated wrestlers. Cannon is listed at number 1 in the state at 126 pounds. So we're on to Jose's match here. Jose, no score in this match. Just coming into the second period here. Jose trying to work his way off the bottom and keep his wrists, hands free. Sits out. Gibson here is a sophomore. So some hand fighting there to get some control, and Jose able to turn and get a leg. Now if Jose can get the head or just finish into a double leg, Gibson is able to pressure down on him, and Jose just needs to pop his head out of there, keep the half. We got 2 for a reversal. Nice job by Jose of fending that off. Now Jose again has got some length on Gibson here, so he's able to stick the legs in there. Jose likes the leg ride. He's able to keep the leg tied in there, works the half, and now he's scoring some near fall. So what do we have for a score now? 2-0 so far. Not got a 2 count yet. Now Jose's able to reach up over and get into the arm underneath him. Now he just needs to sit tight for the end of this period, and he'll have a 5-point lead. Oh, with a pin. He's able to push the shoulder down far enough and score a pin. Good job by our 7th grader to score some team points there.
3.
So Jose winning over Gibson Kratt from Malacca Faith Christian, scoring a pin.
On deck, mat 3, 170, Carter Matthews.
So Sean Rue now going to be on deck on mat number 1 after who do we have over there right now? Taylor Ludwig and Tyler Jensen, two pretty exceptional wrestlers for their schools. I thought Tyler Jensen was one of the rated wrestlers, but he's not. So Tyler only being a freshman, and Taylor is a junior. So that'll be the mat that we are going to be at with Sean Rue. Sean Rue will be wrestling Evan Young. Evan Young from Belgrade. He's a freshman. Evan listed at 3 and 4 for the year. So far, those are the only Paynesville wrestlers we have coming up. What do we got for team score, Shelby? So Belgrade staying ahead of Sartell, 114. Sartell 79. Grand Rapids 59. Barnesville 41. Holding Ford 38. Paynesville slipped down a couple spots there to 38. Sauk Center 36. Malacca 33.5, Eden Valley 26, Spectrum with 7. So in case you're wondering how they score a half point, a pin in an individual match is 2 points, a tech is 1.5 points, so that's where the half points come in. And then a major decision is 1 point. All right, so we ended the Eden Valley and Belgrade match, and we'll have Sean Rue coming up now, wrestling against Evan Young of Belgrade. So Sean listed at 17-1, Evan listed at 3-4. So Sean likes to go in what they call a Russian tie-up, where he gets the hand control. Sean goes in for a single and off the mat.
In the hole on mat number 2 at 152 pounds. Kelly Schauer from Grand Rapids and Weston Roberg from Paynesville. 152, you are in the hole. Mat number 2.
Trying to work something out of a tie-up, and Evan just keeps backing up. So Sean, Paynesville's only rated wrestler, rated number 3 at 138 pounds. So Sean, there's that Russian tie-up, working at the 2-on-1. Now he goes for a quick tie into a, trying for a high crotch, and Evan's able to block. Sean with a good underhook, now going to the front headlock. Evan able to block, but he keeps backing up. It won't be too long. He'll be called for stalling here. Evan hasn't done it there. Sean goes in for a nice fireman's, and Evan not able to fight him off, so Sean getting the takedown. Leading 2-0 here with 30 seconds to go in the first period. So Sean also likes to do that leg ride. So right now he's got the figure 4 on the right leg, and likes to do that cross-body Turk out of the leg ride. Now just right there is that, trying to stretch him out, get him to turn, and working on the head. So we'll go into the second period here with Sean leading 2-0. So Sean defers, and Belgrade's going to choose both up. So Evan able to fend off what Sean has here for the moment. I'm really surprised he hasn't been called for stalling yet. Evan hasn't been. He hasn't made any advances forward and hasn't done any. There's the stalling call.
In the hole on mat number 2 at 152 pounds, Zach Whistler from Eden Valley Watkins. Dylan Hansen from DV. You are in the hole.
So Sean now with a good, there I was going to say, with a good underhook and nice head and arm. Headlock right to his back. So now Sean, if he's able to keep 1 point of contact inside the ring. If he's able to elevate the head enough there to get the shoulders down. So if there isn't a pin here, he will have scored 5 points out of that. And it'll be 7-0. No, he whistled it out. So Sean will be in top position here, and he's leading 7-0 with 58 seconds to go left in the second period. Sean just trying to get that left arm barred in there. So it was potentially dangerous. He had his left arm too far up the back on Evan there. So right off the whistle, Sean pulls that left arm in, trying to bar that up. Trying to put the leg in on the right, then comes back to the left.
In the hole on mat number 3 at 120 pounds, Tyler Merced from Spectrum, Tyler Lincoln from Green Valley Watkins.
So you got a deep waist ride there, then puts in the legs on the right-hand side. Now trying to work he's got a figure 4 on the leg. There's that Turk that he tries, that crossbody Turk. Short time here. And we'll go into the third period with Sean leading 7-0. Sean's choice, he's going to choose down. Off the whistle, he sits out, hooks the elbow. Out again. Now he reaches for the head. Evan able to follow for the moment. Now he's got the reversal and loses the half Nelson. Goes in for the crossface, and Evan blocking with that wrist in the way. So Sean not able to get much of a move going here with Evan blocking. Now Sean gets the legs in on the right. We call a stalemate, and we'll start over. So Sean leading here 9-0 with just over a minute to go in the third period. Sean grabs for an ankle, try to break Evan down. Evan just defending everything that Sean is trying to do. I see, I was going to say, I just see a stalling call coming. So that's what the one was that the ref just awarded Sean, was a stalling call. The second one costs you a point. So now Sean trying to scoop that left leg up over his head into near side. He's able to score a couple of near fall. Scores 3 near fall off of there. It's 13-0 now with 15 seconds to go. So Sean got that deep leg right on the right side. Not able to turn him, and that's how we'll end the match, 13-0. So Sean will move into the finals. I didn't see who won the bottom half of that bracket, but final round we'll find out. So we have Weston Roberg coming up on mat number 2, and Nathan Miller. They must have that listed wrong, or did Nathan Miller just wrestle? They have him listed as losing. I didn't see it. I don't see Nathan standing down there anywhere either. Well, at any rate, we have Weston Roberg coming up. Next match on mat number 2. So Tyler Bentz, who just finished that mat on mat number 2, another one of Belgrade's rated wrestlers at 145. He's rated number 5 in the state. Tyler 21-1 on the season. Now we got Weston Roberg.
You got 3, your fault.
So Weston going in for a single there, and I'm trying to find who he's wrestling here. Weston wrestling Kellen Schauer from Grand Rapids. Kellen able to fight off the single leg there and secure a takedown on Weston. So now Weston trying to do some work here on the bottom. So Kellen going into the cross-face cradle. So Kellen Schauer got seated number 1 in his bracket here, and Weston number 4. As Kellen able to turn Weston in that cross-face cradle. And the Paynesville boys have been having some trouble with that tonight, and Weston getting pinned in the cross-face cradle. Kellen Schauer will be moving off into the finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, on mat number 2, Kellen Schauer just recorded his 150th pin. Congratulations, Kellen.
So as they may have just heard, Kellen Schauer, the match against Weston Roberg there, he just secured his 150th pin of his career. Kellen, a senior.
Carter Winsman from Southside Melrose. You're in the hole on mat number 2, 170 pounds.
So we'll have Aaron Magus coming up here on mat number 3, and he'll be wrestling Spectrum wrestler Daniel Greenberg. Will be the next match coming up. So the girls basketball team is wrestling away today at Maple Lake, and I just got an update that Paynesville JV girls are down 12-10 in the first half. So now we have Aaron Magus coming up here on mat number 3. Aaron in the wrestlebacks. So Aaron, let's see here. So Aaron wrestling Daniel Greenberg at 126 pounds. So Aaron is trying to work his way out of that headlock, able to bring him down to the mat and get the half Nelson in there. So now Aaron trying for the head chancery and just got his leg up there too far, and Daniel was able to reach out and grab it, but no points to Orton. Now he gets a reversal. Daniel ends up with a reversal. So the match now 2-2. end of the first period. So this Daniel Greenberg wrestled Cannon Swanson, who is #1 rated wrestler. So he ended up getting into the wrestlebacks here against Aaron. So he started the second period here. Aaron able to follow, keeping that ankle hooked, working on securing the wrist. Daniel just trying to block with hanging on to those fingers. Now Aaron going with that crossbody ride, putting the leg back in, and Daniel able to get his leg free again. Aaron now securing the wrist underneath, going to 2-on-1. See if he can, nope, he loses it. I'll go back in 2-on-1, see if he can get a tilt here. Daniel getting his wrist free. Aaron just able to keep that ankle locked. Aaron is keeping control for this moment, trying to work something with those wrists, and Daniel's able to peel his wrists out of there every time that Aaron gets it locked up. Aaron trying with an ankle ride to break him down, and Daniel reaching back for a leg. So we're tied here 2-2 in the second period, 30 seconds to go. So right off the whistle, Aaron drives him forward. Now reaching across for the other wrist on the other side, loses that. Now going for a crossface. Now moving up to a butcher. We got to get him flattened back out. Short time. Aaron going behind to secure control. So now Aaron in the down position, and he is tied up in this match. Let's see what Daniel can do from the top position. So Daniel able to have wrist control and break him down, trying to work a half. Aaron able to fight it off and turn his hips.